What is up, everybody? Welcome to On West Gray, the monthly podcast about all things local government in the city of Norman. I am not your usual host, Tiffany Verska, the Chief Communications Officer for the city of Norman. No, Tiffany is off this month, so I am filling in. I am Bryce Holland, Multimedia Specialist for the city of Norman, and also the producer and editor of this show. It's a bit daunting to be filling in for someone as amazing as Tiffany, but I'm going to do my best, and as always, we appreciate you all tuning in. On this month's episode, we are back talking about parks, specifically one of our crown jewel parks here in the city of Norman, Westwood Park. Westwood is home to a state-of-the-art tennis complex, an amazing 18-hole golf course, and the incredible Westwood Family Aquatic Center, which is now open for the 2025 summer season. As amazing as Westwood Park is, the city is always working to make our facilities and parks better for all of our residents. And with that in mind, our Parks and Rec department has recently crafted what is being called the Westwood Master Plan, which is a kind of blueprint for changes and improvements that will be coming to the park over the next several years. Joining us to talk about this master plan is City of Norman Parks and Rec Director Jason Olsen and Rick Parish, the PGA professional at Westwood Golf Course. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Hey, Bryce. Congratulations on hosting your first show.
Yeah, this is it's a little weird being in front of the mic like this, but I think I'm going to roll with it. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Hi, Bryce. Thanks for having us.
Definitely. So, all right. Let's get started here. Let's talk a little bit about Westwood. It's a park that's been around for a while. Jason, tell us a little bit about the history of Westwood Park.
So you go back. Right now, we're going through our AIM Park Master Plan, which is a full master plan for our whole park system. You go back to the 60s, the Parks and Rec department did their first master plan for the Parks department. And that master plan, one thing that was recognized that the Parks and Rec department needed by the residents of Norman was a golf course and a swimming pool. And bam, kind of after that happened in 1967, the summer of 1967, we opened up Westwood. It was the golf course. I think the pool came the following summer. The golf course was a higher priority back then. Don't know the reasons why. Not that swimming's not important or anything, but it opened in 1967. I think the pool came the following summer. Way different than what it is right now. And as you kind of hear us talk about this plan, we're going back to some of the original things that was imagined back at that golf course. They had a lot of open drainage, the Merkle Creek that went through there. It was nice and open. Some things have changed, and we tried to, through some renovations or some things that happened at the golf course, they tried to change things, put more piping underground. We're going to see more things kind of open up and see more things change. But even back then, Norman Ford, or one we're on right now, I like to call it Norman Ford 1 because hopefully we'll have a Norman Ford 2. But the first project that was done in that was our Westwood pool. And you go back and look at the pool, and I think everybody remembers the Westwood pool from it was late 2000.
Something like that. I remember the old pool. The old pool was fun. I liked the old pool.
It was over 50 years old, and it was about time to change, and for that to change. And now we're kind of at that point at golf and tennis. We have a clubhouse that's way past its expiration date. We have tennis that we're seeing Oklahoma City, Edmond, other municipalities with their golf centers going way past of what we have right now. It is time for us to take our turn and invest in the rest of Westwood and make it we're competing in a first class community like Norman to make sure that we're on par with the other communities around us with their golf and tennis centers.
Well, let's talk a little bit about tennis then. So I know that it wasn't all that long ago that we put up the indoor tennis facility there. And I know that wasn't really designed, maybe I'm wrong, it wasn't really designed to be like the permanent thing. I mean, it's kind of like a semi-temporary type structure. What kind of changes are we going to see with tennis?
So when you start talking about tennis, we probably need to start referring to it as paddle sports. Tennis is advanced. It's not just tennis anymore. And even though, some of our tennis players, it makes it nervous when we start talking about pickleball. But pickleball is becoming a very, very popular sport, probably the fastest growing sport in the United States.
It's huge. I saw the courts that they put in at Scissortail in OKC.
Oh, they're awesome.
Like, I mean, yeah, it's huge now.
And I feel like as a municipality, we're usually running a little bit far behind trends, and that trend has been going on for probably about a decade now. We're starting to get them in we have some at 12th Avenue. We have courts at 12th Avenue. We have courts at YFAC that are about to open. They're practically done. We just need to do we got to get some good weather to get the dry work done all the way around it. But we're progressing where it's becoming more and more popular, and pickleball right now, you start looking at these facilities that other municipalities are opening. They produce more revenue than the tennis courts do now. And just because there's more people playing it, I think that you can get a little bit more per court because of the popularity and the amount of people that are doing it. It's not as impactful on your body. Us older people that are not as in shape as these young cats that are playing tennis don't have to move as much. If you partner up, you move even less. So, and it's smaller court, very fun. It's a very short game. So it's something that we're going to try to hopefully get to invest in the future. And when you start talking about everything as a whole, especially with tennis, a lot of this is revenue driven. Westwood Park as a whole is a special revenue fund. So we try to make as much money as we produce. Just trying to basically balance the checkbook every year. And then when you start talking about Westwood, you have the golf course, you have the swimming pool, which was redone in 2018, and the tennis courts. Specifically focusing on the tennis courts, we'll have the exact amount of outdoor tennis courts as we do now. A lot of those are some of those tennis courts out there are probably chipping at about 40 to 50 years old. Been down there for a while. They're right on the edge of Robinson. So every time there's a north wind or the traffic that's going on, very invasive on those tennis courts. And when you start looking at the design of the GSB came up with, they put the indoor tennis courts, moved them over a little bit with the pickleball. That will block that north wind and traffic sound. And you mentioned a little bit of that indoor court that we built. That was about a $1.5 million project in Norman Ford very early. By the time that we think that we get around to this in Norman Ford 2, if it does happen, that tent, the structure that's there will be about 15 years old. And it is possible to reuse it, move it somewhere else. But also, too, when you start talking about capital investments and how Westwood Park is set up, that will be kind of at its expiration date. Theoretically, those buildings are made to last about 15 to 20 years.
Well, it was such an important thing to put that in when we did. I mean, playing tennis out I know tennis is an outdoor sport, but playing out in the heat in Oklahoma,
Oklahoma's brutal.
It can get really, really bad. And now people can play tennis year round, especially even when it's raining, when it's cold outside. So I mean, it's a great structure that they have there.
And when you start referencing this too, so we have 2 indoor courts right now at indoor tennis. This will go to 4, and that will the USTA. When you start talking about the United States Tennis Association, there are smaller tournaments. And what we found with Norman Ford, with the YFAC and redoing Rees, putting more soccer fields out at Griffin Park, there is a true sports tourism market, and we took really good advantage of that on Norman Ford 1. Where we're able to bring in tournaments, outsiders to Norman to come in and play all these different kinds of sports. What is cool about doing that with Norman Ford, that not only are you creating a sports tourism market, but by upgrading all these parks, you're also helping your residents and quality of life of the people that live here. Because believe it or not, that sports tourism market is secondary. We're taking care of our residents. It's just an added advantage. And when we get to do this to Westwood, both upgrade golf and tennis, it's going to be first of all, we're taking care of our residents right here in Norman, but on the secondary, we're going to create a whole lot of sports tourism, which takes care of our hotel rooms and our restaurants and our shops all around Norman. It bleeds over, and it's really awesome what we've done so far.
Well, and it's great getting to see some of these other sports getting some more attention. I mean, I know we've had the big baseball renovation at Reeves. We've got, the soccer fields at Griffin have gotten, such an awesome facelift. We've got, of course, basketball at the YFAC. So it's nice getting to see, golf and tennis now getting a little bit more of that love. I kind of want to backtrack a little bit. So talking about kind of, one of the big things looking at that master plan is sort of, I know people coming into Westwood right now, they come in off 24th Street usually to come into that parking lot. It looks like that's going to kind of change for people. People will now be coming in off of Robinson to come into Westwood. Talk a little bit about that kind of realignment.
So in the 60s, when this was created, 24th butted right up against Westwood as it is now. Those businesses where you kind of look at that Bank First and you go there and you have Carl's Jr.'s and all those other businesses that go a little bit farther. Those did not exist. 24th ran straight right in front of Westwood. And you even go farther north when we start talking about the YFAC, when they were out there doing demo or doing earthwork out at YFAC, they found the old 24th that was existing right in front of the YFAC. So, I mean, it was a straight line. And then at some point, I think in the 70s, they decided to move that out and change the route 24th. So one of the ideas of this, and that 24th does not have any street frontage, or 24th does have street frontage. Let me rephrase that. Westwood does not have any street frontage. And this is an opportunity when we get to kind of rearrange everything and make it optimal for a park. We think the turn in or a viewability on Robinson is a great opportunity for us to take advantage of. We also own the IMSA area. We've talked to Norman Regional. They are aware that building is also was built in the 70s. It's past its useful life. Hopefully we can find a new home for IMSA, and we can, the juvenile center that was on the east side of Westwood on Robinson, that's already been demoed. We're talking about taking golf maintenance and putting it over there. So just kind of rearrange. You don't typically see your golf maintenance right by your pro shop. So it's just something to make it more functionable. When we move maintenance over farther where the juvenile center used to be, now they'll have easier access to the full course instead of kind of up there by the clubhouse, and you don't really want your members hearing the machinery or the mower starting up in the morning. So it'd be nice to move that off, but this a great, more functional park when you get a chance to, and this is kind of a dream, and I will say that the price tag, when you look at it, I know it's a little bit of a shock, but first think of, we're talking about money that's probably going to be spent in 2030 something. So first of all, that's going to be a little bit more expensive, but also there hasn't been a renovation since this place has been built in 1967 to the golf clubhouse. It is the original clubhouse.
It is. It's. I still think it's a great facility there and everything like that. But it is kind of funny when you see the juxtaposition of the brand new aquatic center, all bright and shiny and new, next to the clubhouse that was clearly built a few decades ago and kind of reflects that sort of design sensibility. So talking about golf, let's kind of transition over to that. Rick, I kind of want to talk a little bit about your history at the golf course. How long have you been out at Westwood Golf Course?
I came to Westwood in February of 1995 as an assistant golf professional.
Excellent. Okay, so you're a PGA professional. So
yes.
That's the highest level of golf there is. Honestly, I do not know much about golf. So tell me a little bit about what that means.
PGA professional is somebody that runs the golf course, and it's different from a professional PGA player.
Okay.
So we handle everything from tournaments to lessons to academies, group lessons, all that stuff.
So what does a day look like for you at the golf course? What are you doing there?
Managing invoices for merchandise, running junior academies, running first tee, may have a shotgun start golf tournament, may have a tee time start golf tournament.
Oh, that's awesome. So, okay. So, we're making all these big changes. Tennis is one of the big ones that we're going to see because it's kind of right there at the front of the facility and everything. But obviously the golf course is the biggest part of this. I mean, if you're talking about the volume of Westwood, it's, well, like 3/4 of the whole park, really.
Right.
What kind of changes are we going to see coming with this master plan?
Okay, so we are trying to add yardage to the golf course so that we can have some of the bigger junior tournaments like the OJGT and the USJGA.
That's a mouthful.
Yes. And so we're trying to get to as close to about 6,500 yards as we can. So we're rerouting about 14 holes, which is going to improve the golf course. And, of course, we're going to have covered tees for our driving range. And hopefully we'll light the driving range so that we can make money at night also.
That would be huge. I know, the heat of the day going out to the driving range, that's the worst, but if people could go at night once the sun's down, that'd be, I know my experience with golf really doesn't go beyond going to Top Golf and, having some drinks with some friends while we, drive balls out there.
Right. Yeah. Top Golf's fun.
Yeah.
They have good food too.
They do. They have really good food.
and I think that would be the general idea of, we have covered tees out there, lighted golf range. The driving range would be close to the restaurant where.
You'd be able to have that kind of top golf type experience.
Exactly. So this exact same architectural firm just did Early Wine Golf Course, and that just opened up a few months ago. So their first warm month, which we can kind of consider as your golf season, April, then May. But their first true warm month that they were opening, they did $70,000 in tokens for their driving range. And just to kind of put that on record, and this is an Oklahoma City public municipal course, just so people can grab it, $70,000 is a lot. That was more than any other month that the other 3 courses had combined.
Oh, wow.
So if you figure out how to do it correctly, and we're talking about the efficiency being a special revenue fund, if we do it correctly, that just helps us make this golf course more independent and then less dependent on the general fund of the city. And that's kind of what we're aiming for.
Talking about kind of expanding the yardage of the golf course. So again, I am a total layman. Well, layman doesn't even describe it. I know virtually nothing about golf, which is funny because my dad was a big golfer growing up, but it was the one thing that I was not into. I'd rather sit at home and read comic books than go to the golf course. So, expanding that yardage out, how does that compare to like the big golf courses that you see on like the big televised tournaments and stuff like that? Like would that put us like comparable with those kind of courses?
We would, no, not, we're at 6,200 yards right now, and we're trying to get to somewhere between 6,400 and 6,500. And most of the PGA courses, they're playing probably close to 7,000 yards.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Wow. So, but that still kind of puts us, approaching those sizes.
Yes.
So Rick, when you get around 64 to 6,500 yards, what kind of tournaments does that put you eligible for that we're not getting now?
It's the higher grade junior tournaments. And
what about the high school?
We could probably have more boys high school. Right now it's about 6,200. We're really good for girls high school tournaments. And we've hosted a few state tournaments out there. The 3A state we hosted, I think, 3 or 4 years in a row. And we've had some 6A regionals. It's a great yardage for girls.
Awesome. Okay. Well, so let's also talk about the clubhouse. I know we've got the restaurant in there, we've got the pro shop and all that kind of stuff. This master plan, would we be seeing like that clubhouse getting kind of leveled and rebuilt?
Yeah, it'd be a complete redo of the clubhouse. Like we said, that clubhouse was built in 1967. I consider it expired. That's my favorite term when you start talking about it. So when you start reimagining what the clubhouse could look like, some of this we're doing is all about functionality. We have a golf course that's not that functionable right now. You start going to these more updated golf courses, especially the municipals in Oklahoma City. They're about ready to knock out their last golf course, and then all of them will be recently renovated through the MAPS program, and so none of them will be more than 10 years old. And when you start talking about functionality, you have a clubhouse that's connected to your golf course, typically to either the first or 18th hole, when you can walk out there and get a great view of either teeing or finishing the golf course. You also have a pro shop, which is We have a pro shop now, but once again, we have we're trying to put a square in a circle hole, trying to make this pro shop somewhat profitable. It still does good revenue, but we could do better. And then after that, you start talking about teaching. Right now, and Rick can probably touch on this a little bit, not very functional for teaching lessons. Our main thing is, especially being a municipal golf course, we want to make sure that we grab the interest of children when they want to play golf. We want to make sure that the golf course is affordable for kids. And it's going to stay affordable for kids because those are our future golf customers. And when you get addicted to a sport like golf and you get good at a very young age, you're going to see those kids starting aging and becoming adults, and they're going to be our future customers, future members of that. And then further, when you start talking about what is probably the most profitable portion of a clubhouse is a restaurant. Right now we have a grill. We're able to do burgers. We're able to do sandwiches, some fries, beer, wine, very limited on our alcohol, which we can do, which is also profitable for a golf course, and the events that come with that. We have no event space at Westwood. Once again, you go to an Oklahoma City municipal course or you go to Kicking Bird up in Edmond, the event space that they have to not only attract, and these are the more casual tournaments when you start talking about your average fundraising tournament that's attached to a nonprofit or a school. It makes it better for them because now they can have their events inside, which we don't have enough space to do that right now. You can have a comparable restaurant for them to get food and beverage from, which we kind of have that right now, but it could be better. And just overall experience. Right now we're seeing these golf tournaments in the Norman area going to Belmar or the Trails or over to OU, and this would be one of those things you flip. And I think if we can get what is somewhat proposed here somewhere in that neighborhood, we're going to be getting those tournaments because we're a municipal golf course. Our goal is not to make money. Our goal would be to be an overall benefit to the community. So we would be, just like I'm saying, trying to get that checking account where it's at zero every single year.
Well, and I think that's a really important thing too. I mean, I know that municipal golf courses are not as common anymore. A lot of cities, I think, are moving away from, having a big giant, space that is sort of niche in its way, but having a space that the city provides, making it a lot more affordable than like the private courses that we have in Norman. I mean, I know we have some very nice private courses here, but talk about that a little bit. Like what is our pricing compared to something like Jimmy Austin at OU or anything like that?
And I think Rick probably can touch on this a little bit better than what we do, but we do a market study every single year and make sure that we're within reason of Oklahoma City. Where I don't think our prices in the past, I'm guessing 15 years, have been higher than Oklahoma City's. We're always a dollar or two cheaper. Now you start going to Kicking Bird, which did a really, really awesome renovation of their golf course. I think they're about $15 more expensive. That's a municipal course. And then that's when you start talking about the comparables. I think we can compare ourselves a little bit to John Conrad.
Yes.
Out in Midwest City. We're in the same neighborhood and we're probably a little bit more expensive than they are. When you start comparing to like an OU or a Belmar or even the Trails, and we're way cheaper than them. It's not comparing really apples to apples.
And I guess when I say comparison, really talking about like the fact that having a municipal court like this that the city provides makes it a lot more accessible for people, because I think some people could be, they could see a lot of these private courses, or privately owned courses and go, oh, it's really expensive to play there. But, the city provides something that's much more affordable, much more accessible, open to basically anyone.
Yeah. So with cart, correct me if I'm wrong, Rick, it's about $50 to go out there and play around. And if you did the exact,
to be correct,
51. Okay.
If you did the exact same thing at OU, I think you're probably in the 140 to 170 range.
Yeah. Which, and I understand. I mean, there's a lot of amenities that come with those private courses, but it's nice having that accessibility that the city provides.
Yeah. And one thing that we've done for the kids is we've partnered with Youth on Course. So they can join Youth on Course, and then they can come play Westwood for $3.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. I mean, boy, that makes it very accessible.
Yes.
So
what's our regular green fee for kids?
10.
Okay.
And then we do days during the summer if I hope we're still doing this. I'm putting you on the spot now, Rick. There's a few days during the summer that we, if like a dad or a mom brings their kid, the kid gets to play for free.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, so we're talking about expanding some of the yardage, doing the new clubhouse. With the expanding of the yardage, will there be like new landscaping done of the course?
Yeah. So that's one of the things we did is. I want to make sure because I always call him Craig, but it's Meyer, Craigs, and Coyle is the golf course designer, a little bit different from the architect that's doing everything else. We're working with them on a beautification plan of the golf course, and we hope, because when we get to redo the Westwood, if it's 5, 10, or 15 years, one of the things is that there's some areas we've had a really, really hard time with trees. In storms and things in the past 10 years at Westwood, we've probably lost, I'm guessing, 150 trees over the past 10 years. So when we start talking to our golf course designer, one of the things is we wanted a beautification plan. There are general areas of the golf course that aren't going to change, and we hope to get in there and start improving landscaping, get more natural areas. And I kind of call them I'm trying to think of the word, but it's not really natural areas because we still have to go in there and treat those to make sure that certain invasive species of weeds and things don't pop up. But we need to get trees planted immediately because you don't want to start planting trees if you're doing your golf course renovation in 2033. Last thing you want to do is plant trees in 2033. It'd be nice if those trees were mature by then.
You want something that can actually provide some shade instead of saplings.
So we're going to have a beautification plan. Once this gets adopted, we're going to start working a little bit year by year to implementing these natural areas, planting trees, and getting rid of some of our invasive trees or trees that are on the golf course that are dying or already dead, and replanting a bunch of those trees that we've lost because it's been brutal. Ice storms. I think that I'm just guessing out of the past, like 4 or 5 tornadoes, even if they're small, they've gone right by Westwood.
Oh, God.
We've lost some trees. Yeah.
It's been rough. So,
yes.
Well, so we've talked about tennis, we've talked about golf. Let's talk about the last part of Westwood that we've touched on a little bit. Let's talk about the aquatic center. It's not that old. I mean, I remember, they opened it literally right after I started working here, which was kind of cool to be there for that grand opening of it. And I know that it is, God, I've already got my kids just every day. Dad, are we going to the water park? We going to the water park? I mean, I know
that's what we want.
That's absolutely. I mean, I know how popular it is and everything. With this master plan, new water park, what kind of changes might we see at the aquatic center?
So not specifically mentioned in this plan. I think by the time that we get to a norm forward, we do need to make sure that we have money to give it a refresher. I think the Westwood as a whole, when you start talking about Westwood Family Aquatic Center, is in a good spot. You start, and I will tell you, anybody this, other towns come to us trying to figure out what we did as a formula there. I don't know how we got lucky, but we did something right along the process. And I think it has a lot to do with our population compared to having a really great pool in there. If you start looking at national parks and recreation standards, we're still well below outdoor summer pools of what they recommend. I think they're at, you need one pool for every 75,000 people. So, I mean, theoretically, we probably could do another pool somewhere else in town, but how would that mess with our revenue out there at Westwood? It needs a refresher. When we built the pool in 2018, we did leave enough room to add some features. So we already have the pumps. Everything's plumbed. It's already connected back to the pump house. We just need to figure out and start getting public input. What is that new feature? Is it a surf machine? Is it?
That'd be awesome.
It would be awesome. Is it a slide? Is it another pool? What else could we do that in an off season to do a slight renovation when it was something that was cut out of the original project. We had, when you go over there and you talk about where the diving board is, that was a vision as a full brick wall with a slide that comes out of there and a dive board that goes off the top of the rocks. I mean, those are the things you can add in. Now, at this point, maybe you're looking at a $3 or $4 million renovation of that to get new chairs, get the place refreshed, painted, and getting look like new whenever Norm Ford or the Westwood renovations come back.
I mean, we're what, 6-7 years on now, and it still looks great. I mean, it's still a really, really great looking facility. And I every time I go by there during the summer on the hot days, it's packed to the gills with people.
So you talk about Westwood Family Aquatic Center. One, we get over 7,000 pass holders, which is crazy. In 90 days, we almost do $1 million worth of revenue, which we kind of get pretty dang close to spending every single cent of that because we have 160 teenagers. And I always think when you start talking about economic benefits, when you pay a bunch of 160 teenagers $12 an hour, how many of those kids are actually keeping those $12 an hour in their pocket? When I was a kid, as soon as I got money, I was at buying a video game or
immediately. I was immediately
Chick-fil-A,
the mall or doing something.
Money came in, it went right out. So and it's cool. It's a great place. Families love it, and we need to keep that place fresh and new. And hopefully we get to when Norm Ford 2 comes around, and if we get a yes vote, we'll reinvest in that and get a quick refresh in it and a couple of new features.
That's awesome. Well, so, we've got this master plan for Westwood, Jason. I also wanted to kind of ask, what other kind of changes to our parks might we be seeing in the future? Do we have any other, we've got the AIM plan that we've done, the kind of the big parks master plan. Is there any other like big parks changes around town that you can talk about?
What you're seeing with us right now, we learned one big thing from Norm Ford 1 is that we went into, Norm Ford is great and it's changed our park system. It's changed our town. It was awesome. Towns are coming to us to figure out, what we did and how to invest in the quality of life. The biggest problem with what we did on Norm Ford 1 is we went into a bunch of projects not having a fully etched out plan. So we didn't have accurate cost estimations. We didn't have locations nailed down where these parks were going to go. I think this next round, if when it comes up Norm Ford 2, our hope is to have all the cost estimation master plans done, so we know what the park's going to look like, where it's going to be located, what's an accurate price range, what can we fit in for this budget, what does our public truly want if we redo this. So I think Norm Ford 2, you're going to see finishing master plans out at Ruby Grant, out at Saxon, out at Griffin, out at Reeves. We got a master plan that's recently done at Andrews Park. Of course, we're about ready to get Westwood adopted. Then you start talking about what new things that need to be done. What we're hearing, especially through the AIM master plan, is our cultural centers. Sooner Theater, the Depot, the Moore Lindsay House, Firehouse Art Center. That's all stuff. They're very old buildings that have a very valuable piece in our community, and we need to make sure that those pieces, one, are going to last another 50 years after we do this, and make sure they're all ADA accessible, and make sure that they're set up for what they need to do to operate as best as they can as a business, so they can be financially independent from the city. So those are some of the things I think you'll probably see when you start talking about Norm Ford in the future, but we're just trying to make sure that we get all of our plans straight and have accurate cost estimations going into these. That's the reason you're seeing us do some of these master plans.
It's exciting. It's really exciting because it's such a big thing in Norman, our park system. We have, how many parks do we have? 60, 70?
We're at 69 right now.
69 parks.
We'll be at 71 by the end of the year.
Oh, that's exciting. No, it's such a huge thing for everybody. And I think a lot of people don't realize that, the Depot, the Firehouse Art Center, those are also part of the city. They're part of our park system and everything. It's very exciting that we have all those things to offer to everyone.
We're lucky. We live as a parks director. I can't imagine a better place to live or work or be a park professional. Norman loves their parks, and we're very fortunate that we have a community that wants to reinvest in our parks and have a nice quality of life. So thank you.
Absolutely. I'm very excited to see what the future holds for, such an amazing park. So.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. Really appreciate you having you both here. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Bryce.
Thanks, Bryce.
Questions or commentary about On West Gray can be sent into public affairs at normanok.gov. On West Gray is produced by Bryce Holland of the City of Norman Communications Office. That's me. Be sure to visit normanok.gov/Norman-news to enroll in e-notifications from the City of Norman. Until next time, stay engaged, stay informed, and always remember to cast a ballot. Again, I am Bryce Holland. Thank you for tuning in to On West Gray.